Most people think they're overweight because they eat too much. But the truth is, it's not how much you eat, but more so about what you're eating when you eat. Today, we're going to go over why people are overweight, what we can do about it, and the mindset shift that we need to have in order to see the results that we want to see. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Simanga Michael Njapa. I am a personal trainer and an online coach. Today, as you can see, I am in my VA attire. I completely forgot my shirt, so it is what it is. But today I have my notes here on the iPad, and I wanted to talk to you guys about why people, on average, are overweight. And it's not necessarily, like I said, it's not about how much you're eating, it's what you're eating. So that's the number one thing we're gonna start with in this video, and it's the misconception of, it's it's how much I'm eating, I need to eat less. And on some level, when you want to lose weight, you do need to be in a calorie deficit, but people normally go about it the wrong way. So the right way, in a broad sense, to go about it is, if you feel like you're gaining weight, you need to look at the kind of foods that you're eating, not necessarily how much you're eating. So if I'm constantly at work and the closest thing for me to grab is a pie or something else at a tuck shop or whatever, it's the quality of the food that you're eating that is normally is associated with some of the health outcomes that aren't so great. Ideally, you want nutrient-dense foods that are mid to low calories, not foods that are not nutrient-dense, which is what people mostly go for, but they taste great, but they're high calorie. Examples would be like pizza, for instance. Pizza's not I guess it can sort of be a little bit filling because of the flour and stuff, but it's high calorie, but it's not very nutrient dense. Whereas you might get something like a sweet potato, still a carb source, but it's not as high calorie, but it's more filling, maybe just as filling, but it's still better for your body overall because of some of the things that I'm gonna get into about food quality and why that matters. So that's number one, the misconception of it's not about what or how much I'm eating, it's the foods that I'm eating. I need to change those and the mindset around it in order to see the results that I want to see, especially pertaining to weight loss and muscle gain. Okay, the second thing I want to mention here is why food matters. And I made notes on here and I wrote satiety, blood sugar levels, and energy levels. So all of those things are affected by the kind of foods we eat. Not necessarily, obviously on some scale, how much we eat, but the kind of foods that we eat affect that greatly. So again, I'm going back to my pizza and sweet potato analogy, both carb sources, right? Let's say this one is 500 calories. Pizza, for instance, one pizza could be like, or a slice of pizza could be close to 500 calories, depending on obviously what's on the pizza itself. And something else like a sweet potato, which is you get maybe a same amount of carbohydrates from both, but then, sorry, someone recognizes me and was just saying hi. So you get a similar amount of maybe carbohydrates from both, but the way each of the foods make you feel and the way your body responds to the food is completely different. And of course, if your body responds better to food, you'll have more energy, you'll have more consistent energy throughout the day. That'll obviously affect your work, your life, how you play with your kids, the energy you have, when you're interacting with people in your business. It literally affects everything. And also, the thing is, when you eat super tasty food, it's not nutrient dense, so it's low in terms of its nutrient density. It's super tasty, but also it's not filling, so you can overeat it very easily. And that compounds and then ends up being you overeating the wrong type of food. Again, you're thinking, I need to just eat less. No, you need to change the type of food that you're eating, because if you lean towards more of the sweet potato, you'll still eat a good amount of food, but you'll feel fuller because the sweet potato has things like a good amount of water in it, fiber in it, the right type of carbohydrates that keep your body and your blood sugar levels stable throughout the day. So things like that really do matter, and they really do shine, especially when you make the switch from something like a pizza to a sweet potato. Or some people even blame sugar. So you might want to go from something like what's a sugar source people love? Chocolate, whatever. Chocolate, sugar this side, right? Another sugar this side that's a natural sugar would be something like some type of berries. So both have sugar, One is more sucrose, fructose, different types of sugar. You don't necessarily have to remember these names, but again, the point I'm trying to drive home is they're made up of different things. And so the good option, which is the blueberries, the raspberries, the blackberries, more fiber, more water, right type of carbohydrates, lower in calories as well. So it's going to keep your energy levels more stable. You're going to be fuller when you have them. They're full of antioxidants and a whole bunch of other things that your body needs. And yes, they're not as tasty, but they're tasty enough, versus something like a chocolate, which is super tasty, but in terms of satiety is way low. And satiety, again, is how full you feel when you eat something. So it's super tasty, but it doesn't fill you up, and it doesn't have any of the other micronutrients that your body needs. So it's just a triple whammy, if you want to think of it that way. So you really want to be careful in terms of demonizing foods, because I see that a lot. Like, I need to just cut my carbs if I want to lose weight. No, you need to change the kind of carbs you eat. I need to cut my sugar if I want to lose weight. No, you need to change the kind of sugar that your body is intaking. So think about that. Okay, lastly, we've highlighted, and I've even gone into the solution a little bit, but we've highlighted the problems, why the misconceptions are there, and why they're not great for completing and getting to your ultimate goal, right? So now I want to give you guys some solutions. We know what the problems are, but what are the solutions? Well, one of the solutions is to prioritize protein, because we spoke about satiety earlier. Satiety is super easy, a lot easier to achieve when your protein intake is at the right place. So you want to start with 1 gram to 1 kilogram of body weight as just like a starting point. Of course, you can go more than that, and especially if you're in your cutting phase, you can do that. But just to start with, if you weigh 80 kgs, shoot for about 80 grams of protein, and you can absolutely add more. The average person is doing way less than that. That's why I'm saying just use that as a ballpark number or ballpark figure and way to start before you start to add more. So that's number one. Prioritize protein. That's going to help you feel fuller for longer. Prioritize fiber. That's also going to help you feel fuller for longer. It's going to give your body some of the nutrients it needs in order for it to perform at its optimal level. One of the things someone once said to me was, and I think I kind of had a similar realization, and I kind of made this parallel with a car. And imagine you're a Ferrari, right? So you're a Ferrari, and Ferraris need special Ferrari oil in order for them to function at their ultimate capacity. You can't just put, no offense to Toyota, but like Toyota whatever oil, like a Toyota Taz. You can't put Toyota Taz oil in a Ferrari V12, you know what I'm saying? So yes, you can put it in there, but the Ferrari is not gonna get to where it's supposed to, because you're not putting the right stuff that the Ferrari needs in order to get there. So think of yourself in that way as well. The other thing under the fixing it umbrella is try reduce liquid calories, and know that even liquids have calories. Things like your juices, Red Bulls. I know some of the people here at work love their Red Bulls. It's just not needed. It's just not needed. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not great if your goal is X, and that is losing body fat and losing a little bit of weight, whatever the goal might be. So think twice about the liquid calories. Prioritize things like water. Maybe if you really feel like you need to have something that has a little bit of sweetness, think instead of Coke, maybe go Coke Zero. And of course, Coke Zero is not water, but it's better than, so it's a step in the right direction, but your ultimate goal should still be to get to water, and prioritize liquids like that. Okay, lastly, it's a mindset shift. So think swap, not stop. So you're swapping, you're not stopping. And by swapping more, you'll find that you're stopping. And it's gonna be easier to stop because you're not thinking about stopping. So what I mean by this is, again, think about the things that we spoke about earlier, the swaps you can make, right? Pizza, sweet potato, swap, right? Or chocolate, blueberries, swap. So you'll find by doing that and swapping those things, you'll feel fuller for longer, your energy levels will be better, you'll just feel like a better version of yourself. And I promise you, if you've never done this, you will absolutely feel it. And once you feel that and you get, I don't want to say addicted to it, but like once you get high on that feeling of you being your optimal self, innately you're gonna eat less of that stuff. And even when you have a bender and you eat that stuff again, you're gonna know this is not how I'm supposed to be feeling. My body does not feel great right now. I need to get back to the right way of doing things. And that in and of itself, prioritizing protein, prioritizing fiber, swapping carb sources that people like versus what's good for you and you can like. Same thing with sugar sources. You'll see weight is gonna fall off of you. Body fat is gonna fall off. If you're resistance training, muscle is gonna start to accrue onto your body, and you're gonna look better. You're gonna feel better. All those things low key will take care of themselves. Right, that concludes the video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I feel like I'm leaving something out. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will leave a video up here somewhere. I always forget what the thing is, but another dietary video that I think a lot of you guys would benefit from, especially our keto warriors, why keto isn't the best thing for everyone. So if you try keto, you might want to send this to someone who might be trying keto and is having a hard time. I'll see you guys in the next one.